Welcome to Basic Journal Entries for Liabilities. My name is Mary Jane Collins and I'm your host. Liabilities are debts owed to either other companies or individuals outside of the organization. Liabilities are broken down into two subcategories, which are current liabilities and long-term liabilities. Current liabilities are due to be paid within a 12-month period of time, or in some rare cases longer if the fiscal year is longer, while long-term liabilities have a due date past 1 year or a fiscal period. Components and format of a general journal entry. We have a date column, which has the month and the day. We then have an accounts title and descriptions, where we have at least one account debited and one account credited. Note that the credited account is indented, while the debited account is up against the black line. Our third line will be a description of the transaction. Please keep that brief and to the point. We have a left column, which is our debit column, and we have a right column, which is a credit column. This does not mean increase and decrease, it simply means left or right. We have one account debited and one account credited. We can have multiple debits or credits. Those are called compound journal entries. But the debits and the credits must equal for each financial transaction. Now, let's look at some liability transactions. Here is the creation of a short-term liability. We will start with the date, which is January 5th. We will put 1/5 in our date column. We purchased inventory, which is an asset. We will debit that to increase the inventory. And then we're charging, so we will use the accounts payable account, and that also will increase, but we credit that account to increase it. Purchase goods on account is our description, brief, to the point, on account meaning for credit. The amount was $1,500. We will increase our inventory by debiting that $1,500, and we will increase our liability account, accounts payable, $1,500 by crediting it. Now to short-term debt owed due to salaries. On December 18th, which is our date, 12/18, we paid salaries, but we're not actually paying it since it's the end of the year, so we're only accruing it. So we will recognize the expense, salaries expense. This is a record keeping account for the entire year, how much expenses we paid. And since it's accrued, it won't be cash, but it'll be salaries payable because that's a liability. We will pay this salary the next year on the 2nd. For the pay period 26, there are 26 pay periods in a bi-weekly pay cycle, so this will be the last pay in that pay cycle. The amount was for $2,500, so we will increase the record-keeping account expenses by $2,500, and we will increase the liability by $2,500. Now, this is how we accrue salaries at the end of the year. Now, creation of a long-term debt. The date is January 12th, so we will do 1/12. We purchased a building, so we will debit building and increase that account. And mortgage payable is how we're paying for that building, so we will put mortgage payable, and then purchase of a building will be our description. The amount is $130,000, so we will increase our building account by debiting that $130,000, and we will increase our liability account, mortgage payable, by crediting that $130,000. Now, the payment of a liability on December 26th, so we'll put the date, and on account, so we're paying on account, so we'll put accounts payable. We'll debit it to reduce it Because it's a liability account, debiting that account reduces. And then cash, which is an asset account, we will credit that account to reduce it. The description will be payment made to suppliers. The amount, $850, will decrease our accounts payable by debiting it, and we will decrease our cash for $850 by crediting that account. So that's our presentation on liabilities. Here is a handout with a list of common account titles placed in categories with which side increases and decreases the various accounts. Here is a list of some basic journal entries so that you can see those. Here is my website for C&M students. You'll need your username and password to access this website. Thank you for your interest in this presentation. Please review the other ones on this playlist for how to create basic journal entries. Again, thank you and goodbye.